Thank you, Chris, and welcome also from my side to today's webinar. As already mentioned, the aim of today's webinar is to show you the various elements of WEDO meetings and to give you helpful tips and that you know how to set them up efficiently. For today's practical example, to prepare, create, and also follow up our meetings, we'll use the use case of a management meeting. I will share my screen and directly give you an overview of my workspace in WEDO. We will start with the workspace executive board, where we click off the tab Meetings and add our first meeting. Of course, there is a title of the meeting, our participants that will be taken over directly from the access rights according to the workspace. We select the meeting date as well as the meeting time. Let's say it's a weekly meeting every Tuesday. And as a meeting room, we define room alpha. After adding the meeting, I hide my menu so I can fully focus on my meeting table. Now, in mind that we have created our first meeting, we start with the 10 steps in a WEDO meeting. First of all, with the menu and the options of the meeting. Therefore, I'll guide you directly to the top bar. Here, just with the small arrow, you can open the meeting details that we just entered. You can always adjust your meeting details with the little pen here. If you have any changes on the date or the recurrency, or maybe also the room. Of course, instead of a room name, you could also add a Zoom or a Teams link to directly connect during the meeting. In the overview board, there is also a quick access for signatures and access rights. Also on the top bar, and explained a bit later, are the 5 meeting phases, which will guide you through the whole preparation, minutes taking, and validation of the protocol. There we've got a quick access for the signatures and access rights, the various possibilities to share meetings, and further meeting options. In the meeting options, again, you also have the possibilities to edit the meeting details and also the just mentioned visualized options for access, sharing, and settings. There is also an option email to topic. I will explain a bit later, as well as various viewing modes, where we can also split the view from topic view to document view. And of course, further settings in terms of the agenda, if you would like to show or hide the automatic numbering of WEDO within your agenda. Plus, there are further settings for your votes if you use any in your meeting. Our top bar, we see the upcoming meeting, which you can use to jump to the next meeting, or on the left side to get back to the previous one. So the header here is really to navigate between meetings or to get more information about the current meeting, same as for the status or the access rights. It really helps you to navigate through the meeting. And before we now prepare the agenda, I will introduce you the second step in terms of meeting management, the 5 phases of the meeting. Now we see that our meeting has the status agenda in preparation. With the green button, you can switch to the next phase. We'll quickly have a look at the 5 phases. The agenda in preparation, as the status says, is really to prepare the agenda, to set the access rights, manage your attendees list, and so on. To really have your proper preparation before you decide that the agenda is ready to be published to all participants, which would be the second phase. To navigate between the phases, you can either use the small arrow here or simply click on the green button, which will lead you directly to the next phase and display the phase that you're currently in and which the next phase would be. So now, when we validated the agenda, we could invite our participants to prepare themselves, read the notes and documents that are being shared, and make their own notes and preparations for the meeting. Once the meeting day has come, we start the meeting and we are in the meeting phase ongoing. Just after the meeting, when all the minutes have been taken, we end the meeting officially, so the minutes will be in review phase. Now we have already quickly introduced the 4 phases. The last one will remain until the moment we really decided about the minutes. Most of the times, this is only in the next meeting. It's mostly one of the first 3 agenda items that we revise our protocol of the last meetings and validate it. Once the meeting has been validated, we can lock the meeting and it's not possible to do any changes anymore at this time. So briefly, those are the 5 phases which will help you to guide you through the meeting. And on top, you're also able to define in what phase your meeting attendees have what size or range of access rights. A bit more of that later. Now, to start with our preparation, we first have a look at the agenda, where on the left side we've got enough space to create. To create any minutes, you first need an agenda consisting at least a topic. In WEDO, have 2 options: adding sections or topics. Now, to be clear about the agenda, a section is to structure and organize your agenda, whereas the topic really is the last item in your agenda where you really add content and take your minutes. We can either enter our agenda items manually by entering a name and clicking the plus or enter, where it now creates a first topic. Or even more simple, we can import an agenda from a last protocol which we have taken outside of WEDO, for example. In my case, I've got a small agenda in my notes pad where I can simply copy and paste. It will display automatically a preview, no matter if there are any lines with spaces in between or the numbering is not yet correct. WEDO will automatically number my agenda items appropriately. In this case, I have a combined agenda of sections and topics. I have always the possibility to change my preview as I see the advanced options. Here I've chosen by default sections and topics. If I would say I only want to add sections to really have a first structure of my meeting agenda only in sections, so I can do a 3, 4, or 5 leveled agenda, then I could say I only use sections. If I'd say I only need 1 level, then I could also say I only have topics. All these are single topics. I don't need any structure in it. Then I could also import only topics. I do suggest you to use the sections as they're not only helpful to structure your agenda, but they will always be copied to the next meeting, no matter if there are the same topics in it or not. So you have your standard structure of the meeting all the time. There is also an option to choose whether you want to set a recurrency for your topics or to set yourself as a presenter. In this case, I don't want to activate it. I will do that manually afterwards. Now, if I import my agenda, you see, I seem to have an issue with my enter button here. So we try it again. Import, and there it is. Now we see our agenda on the left side. On top, the first sample topic that I've entered over the topic line. Of course, taking the number 1, which I can simply now pull to the right position in my agenda, and the numbering will automatically adjust. Now that we have our first framework of our meeting agenda, we come to the step 4, manage the section topics. Now, imagine the section departments is the top level to organize my departments below it. Now we see that number 3, finance, actually should be a 2.3 because it consists further topics in it. And I want to have all the departments in point 2 in the section. Now I simply click on finance and pull it a bit to the right, so it automatically changes their numbering. Same for personal, quality management, and marketing. You see, it's a dynamic agenda. So whenever you click a bit or push a bit to right, then it automatically creates a 3rd or a 4th level. Now, with this example, you can easily see that sections really are to structure and add more levels to your agenda. Now that my structure is all right, I can add further topics or sections to my agenda if I want. I can either add further topics on top or directly in the corresponding section. For example, if I want to add a new project in ongoing projects, then I simply click on the section menu and add a topic. I could also add a subsection if I want to have a third level in this part. Now, if I add a topic, I can add my project, WEDO implementation, and it's already numbered 3.5. Now, as you can see, with every topic or section, you have these 3 dots, which you also have on top bar of your meeting. This always indicates the menu. So there you get more options for your section or your topic to adjust it. For example, if you would like to rename a topic, you can also click in it and rename it, or click directly on the topic and in the topic line on the screen. There you've got also the possibility to change the name of your topic. Now that we've seen how we can create further sections and topics, or how to align the agenda, it's about time to show you a third option to create topics. Now, imagine my colleague Jan asks me to organize the next day of open doors. We would like to introduce our company to all our clients and other guests. Now, Jan writes me an email, and instead of that I go into my agenda, I add a topic manually, type all the information of the email manually in my agenda item, I can simply forward this email, as you maybe already know it, from email to task. Now, I have further options here in the meeting called email to topic. Now, every meeting has a known email address, which you can copy. Same for email to task. This email will lead directly the corresponding topic in this agenda here. So I can simply forward this mail, and it will create me a new topic, which I then can align to the corresponding section. Same goes for the email to section. I can also directly send an email to a specific section by clicking on the section and choose email to section topic. Now, this email address remains exactly the same, so it remembers that this comes with the section welcome of our meeting. So whenever I want to add further information to that specific section during our meeting series, the email address will remain. Now, these are 2 options which also provide you to facilitating your agenda creation by using the mail functionality. Now, as a last step in our phase agenda in preparation, it's about time to prepare the agenda items. When we have a look at our first item, minutes of the last meeting, we see the title, and there's quite some space to add text. Now, that's one of the 2 options to display a topic. We're currently in the topic view, where you only see one topic by time. Whenever you click in the agenda, you can see the item that you've selected. You can also use the arrows to go back or forth to keep your agenda view. The other option is the document view, where you can scroll through your agenda and click in every topic individually. Now, to prepare the agenda, I personally prefer the topic view. really to concentrate and focus from one topic to the next. Now, in this case, we quickly have a look at this topic, where we have the title and the section preview, but also have the possibility to select presenters. Now, in the phase of preparation, I can select which are my presenters of that specific topic. There can be one person or even two, depending which will present the corresponding agenda item. I can select it for all my topics manually, and once selected, it will automatically be copied to all our following meetings in the series. So I do it once. Whenever I have changes during the time of meetings, I can do it every time. Just deselect the current presenter and select another one. Next to the presenter, you can find the topic duration. The topic duration helps you to estimate the approximative duration of your meeting. So you can estimate how long it will take you for every agenda item to discuss. You can set it manually, and whenever you've set your durations, it will automatically calculate the duration you've already set. As said, you can do it manually, topic by topic, or you can use the agenda options to set a topic duration in general. Let's say I calculate with a minimum of 10 minutes for each agenda topic. I set the duration by default, and now my agenda says, hey, you're far too way long with this duration. I haven't overcalculated. I doubled the time, so this won't work. I either will now move some agenda items to the next meeting so we can fit the 1.5 hour meetings time. I can adjust the meeting time, of course, if we have more time available to discuss these topics. Or I simply go in the specific topics and adjust the meeting times so that we fit the 1.5 hour. In this case, I decide about some topics already in preview, in the preparation phase, and I simply postpone these topics for 22nd October, so they won't be in our current agenda to discuss, but they will be ready for the next week's meeting. Now we reduced already a bit of time in our agenda and can adjust the rest manually so it will fit our time. Apart from the time, there is also possibility to set recurrences. Now imagine you now take your time to prepare the agenda. Wouldn't it be nice then that you have it ready for the next meetings just by 1 or 2 clicks? Of course. And for this, you can just simply use the recurrence. In this case here, I know that the first 3 agenda items will be on agenda every meeting. So I choose every meeting. If I choose the recurrency, there will be displayed 2 small arrows turning. Now you see it also here in front of my agenda item. And with this setting, now my next meeting already consists of the 3 mandatory meeting agenda items, plus the ones that I have postponed from current meeting. Now I can do this for every agenda item, but I can also decide on topics that maybe are to be discussed in every meeting, but maybe every fourth or just on specific dates. As soon as I've got a meeting planned in future, I can also select specific dates. Instead of the fixed recurrency, I can use the calendar symbol, and it shows me a preview of the already planned meetings. So imagine I want to discuss the budget again in November. I can simply click on November. So we know that this topic will automatically be planned for the 2 meetings, but not in October. If we quickly check that, there is no budget in October meetings, but once we arrive to November, there it is. Now, the recurrency really helps you to schedule ahead your meetings. If you do an annual planning or semi-annual planning, this is really a great feature to plan your agenda in advance and saves you enormous time during the year. Now, getting back to our current meeting, we start to prepare the agenda item. If we have a look at the plus, you can see what item options there are. There is the basic text paragraph, where you can activate by clicking on it or just simply clicking in a topic. It will automatically create a paragraph line. With every paragraph line, you have simple formatting options you can use, where you can also use the command, which is a slash, to enter your options to choose what to add as a text. Now, if I have a look at the menu, there is also the option for decisions, for tasks, attachments, or even images. Maybe you would also like to vote on a topic, then you can also create a vote already in preparation phase. Plus, there is a possibility to import existing tasks. So you can create new tasks directly in the meeting, but also import existing ones from your workspaces. Finally, there is the block type comment, which is private and only visible to yourself. Now, let's add a paragraph here to add some content in our example. We would like to present a new project. I can add also a private comment for myself. Define the goals for a paperless office. This will remind me what I want to bring up during the meeting. And of course, I can also add directly an attachment, uploading either from my computer, from my WEDO base, or from a link if I want to link to a website, to a document which is online. Now, in this case, I select a presentation for the paperless office. So I've got basic content with a paragraph and a presentation. Maybe you already know that we need to take a decision, so I can also prepare a decision paragraph. Now, this type of preparation with these various blocks, I'll do for all the agenda items. And once done, I go to the next meeting phase, which is validated. And at this time, I invite my participants by mail. They get a message saying that the minutes are ready to be prepared to take their personal notes. And with this email, they get also a direct link to the meeting. Now, imagine that everyone has received the link, they prepare themselves, maybe they also want to add further topics themselves. This really much depends on your personal meeting process. If you allow your participants to add topics themselves or to stick to the current agenda. Now, if you would like to differentiate with the meeting phases each access rights, then we have a quick look at the access rights now. Now, first of all, you need an agenda and your participants list to define about access rights. When you click on access and signatures, we now have the overview of our meeting attendees. I can sort by role to see that we have 2 editors of the meeting. And we've got also some participants with the role participant and reader. Now, to explain the role system, there are 4 basic roles in WEDO, but you can also create custom ones. For each role, you can define in what meeting phase the participants have access to what or are allowed to manage the agenda. Now, with the example I've given, I've said me and Gino, the other editor, are the only ones to view and prepare the meeting agenda in preparation phase. But once validated, we allow our participants to see also the content, the files, but also to vote on topics. In this meeting here, I don't want that the participants modify the agenda, but maybe you've got other meetings in team that you would like to do collaboratively so that everyone can add their own topics and sections. Now that I have adjusted my role, I save it, and everyone with the role participant has the corresponding access rights. In the access rights, I also decide about the signatories and the voters of the meeting, where I also can select the shares of each participant. Now that I have selected, I can save the changes, and for every meeting series, I'll be asked if I want to transfer these changes only to this meeting or to the following ones. If I select all meetings, it also consists the meetings in the past of this series. As this is the first meeting in the series, I choose this and following meetings, and I've adjusted my access rights accordingly. We imagine that everyone has prepared for the meeting, the day of the meeting is here, and we start the meeting. We right off start with the participants list, where we can take note that Jacob is excused due to further education. Everyone else is present, and we can continue with the meeting, starting with the minutes of the last meeting. Now, for this agenda item, we simply add a decision to say that we've agreed on the last meeting minutes. Last minutes are accepted. And go to the next agenda item. But before we do that, we have a look at the 2 statuses here at the bottom of the topic. Now, with every agenda item, you have the possibility to plan the further upcoming of it. Here we've selected a recurrency for every meeting, meaning I want to keep this agenda item for our next meeting. So I simply click on Revisit on the 22nd. For all the items that I have already noted down, and want to revisit it. After I've selected Revisited, we see that the agenda items turn blue. So I exactly know where we are in our agenda and what of the topics already have been talked about. In the list of pending items, we quickly do the same to illustrate our example here of the paperless project and to finalize this seventh point, the minutes in real time. Now, for our topic administration, imagine that we've talked about our project. Maybe I've did some personal annotations which are saved the same as for the personal comments. They remain private and can be viewed at every time when I open the topic or the document. Once we've discussed the project, a decision has been taken, I quickly copy the decision from my notepad. We defined that Amanda Clark has been elected as a project leader, and we'll also assign a task to her that she can build the project team and start with the project. Once created a task and assigned to Amanda, she will receive a notification in WEDO displayed in her personal inbox and also by mail, depending on the settings of the notification she's done. All the changes done on the task will automatically be synced in the task view, but also here in the minutes. Now, if this topic is also properly documented, we can decide about to revisit it again in the next meeting to get to know about the status of the project. If we have a topic that is only treated once in that meeting and won't come up in the next one, we can also define it as complete. If we do so, there will be a small tick and the IT topic won't be in our agenda for the next meeting anymore. A small tip here, if there is a topic that you've discussed once in the past and you want to re-import it in your current agenda, you do not need to create it manually over the top bar or within the section. You can simply click on the agenda menu and import past topics. Here you can navigate between previous and next meetings, and it will display you all the topics that have been treated in the corresponding meeting in comparison to the current one that you're preparing. So if you decide to rediscuss the IT topic again, you can simply click on it and decide with what content you want to import it in your agenda. This way, you've got it again in your agenda. And on the topic options, you can also see the occurrence of each topic. So you exactly know on what date was the other meeting where we discussed about it. There you can also jump from one meeting to the other to get to the content. Now, that was already the example of the 8th meeting organization point, real minutes taking and deciding about every topic. Imagine that the meeting has come to an end. We are in the review phase and we add personal annotations or slight changes to finalize our protocol. Now in some days or some weeks' time, it's already high time to prepare our next meeting. Therefore, we simply click on the next meeting and again, check check our agenda, which has already the standard items or the ones that we have postponed. We can, as previously shown, import further topics from the past meetings or add it manually to complete our agenda. To wrap this presentation up and to show you the last item of the minutes taking, all the minutes that I have taken with the specific blocks can be searched within WEDO, not only within a meeting or the meeting section of our workspace, but also globally. So no matter what status the meeting is in, and no matter of what content you've added, whenever you use the global search in your top menu, you can add a search, jump directly into the global search, and you get a full overview of all the files consisting that search word. It will also activate the word search within the document by highlighting the word that you've been looking for. You have a global search in the tasks, not only in the title, but also in the description. You can filter the single meeting blocks. For example, if you only want to search within the decisions, then it will automatically display the block decisions. Below every block, you've got a direct link, which leads you directly to the minutes, but also in the topic preview, where you see how it looks like in the corresponding minutes. You can simply click on a link to jump back to the corresponding topic. Now, with the global search, you quickly find your minutes information, also your private notes taken during the meeting, and you always have access to it. Once the meeting is in the past, you can click on Meetings and find it in the tab Past. All the meetings in future you see in the list of upcoming meetings, and with every meeting you can review the status of it. Once ready and displayed, you can prepare. There you've got access within the single workspace or also with your personal meeting overview, which collects all the meetings from all your workspaces that you've got. There is a last tip I would like to give you in terms of meeting management and related to the global search. The global search works for all the information that exists on WEDO. So if you have any protocols outside of WEDO before you started WEDO, go to the workspace on tab Files and add a folder. And add a protocol or minutes archive. There you can save all your minutes from previous meetings, let's say from the last 1 to 2 years. And if it's an electronic file, like PDF, Word, Excel, whatever, you can also use the search function to search within these documents. Now, this saves you valuable time also for past meetings that are not yet collected in WEDO. Now we are slightly coming to the end of the 10 tips for minutes taking. As a last bonus for today and related to meeting, I would like to quickly show you the signatures on WEDO. As you already know, we can define our signatories on the access rights of our meeting and define in the export for our PDF what elements we would like to display if we have signatures and generate our protocol, we see that we've got a proper line of signatures that will be displayed. But now with WEDO, it's possible to also electronically sign your minutes. The electronic signature is a brand new add-on which provides you to sign your meeting protocols electronically and directly in WEDO. There are 3 types of electronic signatures: the simple electronic signature, the advanced electronic signature, and the qualified one. They differentiate in the legal form and requirements they've got. So the highest form, the qualified one, is equivalent to a handwritten signature. So meaning you do not need to print out any of your meeting minutes anymore, sign it, handwritten, and upload it again. You can directly do this in WEDO, especially for your management board meetings. This is very handy to use. First of all, in your settings as a network administrator, when you check your subscription plan, there are add-ons that are available where you can choose the electronic signatures. Now, in general, the add-on costs 240 Swiss francs, dollars a year, which allows you to use single electronic signatures unlimited for the whole workspace, for all the meeting participants you've got. If you use the qualified electronic signatures, there will be a small charge of 3.5 francs each signature. Every electronic signature that is qualified needs a pre-validation on site, meaning that you need to identify yourself online or on site at one of our supplier called Swisscom. Swisscom will do the qualification of personal identification, and once done, you are also able to sign qualified minutes. As a user, if you want to sign any minutes in WEDO, you first need to enter your mobile phone number to get a code where you can register and add your signature to the meetings protocol after. Once this confirmation of the mobile phone is done, you can also select how you would like to display your signature. You can either upload your personal signature handwritten or choose between different fonts. And once done, you are able to sign protocols with it. Now for a management meeting, as a meeting organizer, once the meeting is done and I want to get them signed, I log the meetings, enter the code, and directly request the signatures over the Share Meeting tab. There I've got the 2 signatories where we decided in the access rights and the possible signature options I've got. In this case, I tried a simple one, send a request to my signatories, and just now both of us received an invitation to sign the minutes in our inbox in the signatories tab, where we've got an overview, what minutes we need to sign with what type of signatures. I can click on it to review the protocol, and once I'm ready and agree to the minutes, I can sign it and confirm a signature. The status of the signature will automatically be updated, and my signature will be added to the minutes. Once both of us has signed the minutes won't be changeable anymore. As long as only one of the signatories has signed, I always can cancel the request and define other signatories if maybe we have an absence. But once signed with both, it's signed forever and locked, and no one else can change the minutes. If I've done all my signature requests, they're saved in the tab All, so I keep the overview of all my signed minutes. And of course, also in the meeting overview, I can see the status that we're waiting for signatures. Now, this add-on really saves you time, as you can complete your signing process directly in the minutes of WEDO and not outside of it. You can sign the minutes anywhere at any time because it's online. And of course, you don't need to print out any meeting minutes anymore to sign them handwritten. It's a secure service with a certified supplier, Swisscom, and as said, usable for all your members once the add-on is active. We will also display the link for more information on WEDO signatures in our webinar recording, so you can get back to us if you have any questions.